Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to your own platform. We call it as MindnorM. I hope I'm audible, visible, everything is fine. We are good to go. Just let me know in the comment section so that we can start with the discussion without any further delay. आज का सेशन as usual काफी important है and it is the beginning of May month, that is first to 2nd of May के जो current affairs है that will be covered in this particular session. अगर अभी तक you haven't started preparing for the finance current affairs and you are trying or you are aiming RBI grade B examination, तो I would suggest you कि इससे पहले के months के जो PDF है उनसे आप अपने मंथ की जो करंट अफेयर्स है वो कवर कर लीजिएगा. बट एटलीस्ट जो मे मंथ है, एज यू ऑल नो, इट्स रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो जो मे मंथ है, ट्राई टू कवर इट with the help of the video sessions, with the help of these live sessions. So this is going to be really very important. ठीक है. सो आई होप वी आर गुड टू गो. हाँ, एक अनाउंसमेंट है. लास्ट क्लास में जो हमने सर्कुलर स्टार्ट किया था with respect to the commercial bank, that circular was not completed. It was ought to be completed today at 10 a.m. but due to some unavoidable reasons I was not able to go live. तो मैंने उस क्लास को कल के लिए schedule कर दिया, tomorrow at 10 a.m. and in the tomorrow's session we will be completing that particular circular. और एक चीज और बता दूं, I don't know whether you visit the RBI website or not, लेकिन RBI website को अगर आप आज जाकर देखेंगे तो 27th of April and 29th of April ये दो डेट्स पे आरबीआई ने काफी सारे अपडेट्स दिए, काफी सारे अनाउंसमेंट्स किए. सो दीज टू डेट्स रिलेटेड अनाउंसमेंट्स, दीज टू डेट्स रिलेटेड अपडेट्स विल बी कवर्ड इन द अपकमिंग सेशंस टू गो. आई विल ट्राई माय लेवल बेस्ट कि कल का जो सेशन है उसमें एक सर्कुलर कंप्लीट करके फिर अगले कुछ स्पेशल सेशंस ले लूं सर्कुलर्स के लिए फॉर द मंथ ऑफ अप्रैल, ताकि मई के मंथ में हम अप्रैल के सर्कुलर्स को ज्यादा कवर ना करें और वो सेपरेटली कवर हो जाए. आई विल ट्राई माय लेवल बेस्ट. ठीक है जी, मैं यार सारे करवा दूंगा, आप टेंशन मत लो. जितने भी आपके एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इंपॉर्टेंट सर्कुलर्स हैं, नॉट ओनली फॉर द करंट, फ्रॉम द करंट मंथ, रादर फ्रॉम ऑल द मंथ्स विच आर फिजिबल फॉर योर एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, आई वुड सजेस्ट यू फ्रॉम द मंथ ऑफ जनवरी ऑनवर्ड्स जितने भी इंपॉर्टेंट सर्कुलर्स हैं, वी विल बी रिवाइजिंग देम. आई होप यू माइट हैव सीन the class yesterday. Manish sir has started with the revision session. So ये जो revision session है उसका जो स्केड्यूल है वो हमने आपको ऑलरेडी दे दिया है और वो स्केड्यूल हमारे डिस्क्रिप्शन में भी अवेलेबल है. सो जस्ट गो एंड चेक द डिस्क्रिप्शन बिलो. द स्केड्यूल इज अवेलेबल. वी कॉल देम एज लाइव रिवीजन क्लासेस फॉर करंट अफेयर्स. सो उन लाइव रिवीजन क्लासेस में वी विल बी कवरिंग जनवरी टू जून मंथ आरबीआई सर्कुलर्स, और उन सेशंस में विल ट्राई अ लेवल बेस्ट टू कवर ईच एंड एवरी सर्कुलर up till a depth which is required for your upcoming examination. ठीक है जी. सो डोंट वरी. लेकिन अगर आपने पिछले मंथ्स के करंट अफेयर्स को कवर नहीं किया था, आई वुड रिपीट अगेन, इट्स ओके, कोई बात नहीं. लेकिन आज हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं विद द न्यू मंथ, तो एटलीस्ट बी रेगुलर फॉर दिस मंथ इटसेल्फ सो दैट यू कैन कवर थिंग्स प्रीटी वेल, सो दैट यू कैन फॉलो द थिंग्स प्रीटी वेल. ठीक है जी. इज इट क्लियर? Done. Any other doubt, any other question you want to ask, you may ask please. Otherwise I will be going ahead with today's session. आज के सेशन में दो important RBI announcements हैं and both the announcements are really very important. और उन both announcements में examination में question पूछे जाने के पूरे chances हैं. So keeping that in mind, this particular session is going to be started. So let's get started with the discussion. Ready, steady, go. This is going to be important. So here we go with the first news of the day. The first news is all about the authorized dealer category 1 bank. Now the point is, what is this authorized dealer category 1 bank? What is the news all about? What all points we need to remember out of this particular news? So please stay with me. This is going to be very interesting. अगर हम बात करते हैं authorized dealer category 1 की, so authorized dealer category 1 is basically an entity which is registered with RBI and it is responsible to perform the foreign exchange. Whenever we talk about foreign exchange, so foreign exchange means the exchange of Indian rupees against foreign currency or foreign currency against Indian rupees. It is done for the purpose of current account transaction. A current account transaction means I'm talking about import, export, remittance, as well as inward remittance, as well as profit, एज वेल एज सैलरी, वो सारी चीजें आती है करंट अकाउंट ट्रांजेक्शंस में। और अगर मैं बात करूं कैपिटल अकाउंट ट्रांजेक्शंस की, सो इट बेसिकली टॉक्स अबाउट इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड लोन। सो इन इंडिया कैपिटल अकाउंट ट्रांजेक्शंस आर लिमिटेड और कैपिटल अकाउंट convertibility is limited, but current account transaction convertibility is 100%. Means if you are receiving the dollars through imports, if you want to pay dollars against exports, if you are receiving the remittance, inward remittance, if you are receiving the profit, if you are receiving the salary, if you are receiving the pension, if you are receiving any kind of grants for that particular purpose, 100% convertibility is allowed. But the question is, sir, if you want to enjoy these current as well as capital account convertibility transactions, that can be done only through the registered and regulated foreign exchange bodies. In that particular case, we have authorized dealer category 1, we have authorized dealer category 2, we have authorized dealer category 3, and we have full-fledged currency exchanger. So out of these 4 categories, which all are registered under RBI, authorized dealer category 1 is the most capable category, which allows both capital and current account related transactions as well as convertibility. And this license, this registration is generally given to banks only. So the scheduled banks in the country are provided with the license, are provided with the registration as authorized dealer category 1 by none other than RBI. अब इसमें पॉइंट क्या आता है कि सर ये जो authorized dealer category 1 है, it involves an n number of foreign exchange transactions and n number of foreign currency involving transactions. But a point which is really very important, sir, if this authorized dealer category 1 is getting into over the counter derivative transaction, and this derivative transaction involves INR settlement. If this derivative transaction involves INR settlement, in that particular case, RBI has asked these authorized dealers that you should right away inform the CCIL. Or authorized dealers, they were doing this task from the past itself. Now what is the change? The change is RBI ने कहा कि भैया सिर्फ अपनी कहानी मत बताओ, जो आपकी पेरेंट कंपनी है या फिर जो आपकी सब्सिडरी है, whosoever we call it as related parties, whosoever are the related parties of authorized dealer category 1, and if these related parties of authorized dealer category 1, if they are involved in any kind of over the counter derivative transaction involving INR, then that information is need to be shared. By the authorized dealer category 1 to CCIL. तो इस CCIL के ऊपर ये burden है, ये norm है that you have to share this information with CCIL. You have to update CCIL कि भैया मेरी related party ने एक derivative transaction की है where the transaction settlement is going to be done in INR. Whether these derivatives are deliverable or non-deliverable, I don't care, but you have to inform CCIL this addition has been done. कि भैया आप अपनी transaction के बारे में तो पहले inform कर रहे थे, very good, a good boy. Now you should inform the transactions done by your related parties as well to CCIL, and this is the new change which has been done by RBI. बस इतनी सी न्यूज है, इसके अलावा इसमें कुछ नहीं है. जल्दी से इसको पढ़ लेते हैं ताकि चीजें क्लियर हो जाए. तो अगर मैं बात करूं authorized dealer category 1 क्या है, I'm pretty sure you know this very well now. Now if I talk about the authorized dealer category 1 banks, ये bank word क्यों आ गया? Because this category 1 title is generally given to the scheduled commercial banks only. It's not given to any other entity by RBI. They were required to report over the counter foreign exchange derivative contract and foreign currency interest rate derivative contract that undertook directly or through their overseas. So whatever derivative contract you have been signed or you are getting into, which involve the foreign currency interest rate derivative or which involves the foreign exchange derivatives, you have to inform CCIL. तो वो आप कर रहे थे, लेकिन अब न्यू डायरेक्शंस क्या आई? द न्यू इंस्ट्रक्शन सेज दैट द बैंक मस्ट आल्सो रिपोर्ट all the over the counter foreign exchange derivative contracts involving INR, all the foreign derivative or all the foreign exchange derivative contract involving INR undertaken globally, not only in India, पूरे globe में कहीं भी वो transaction की जाए by the related party, you have to inform it. So related party of the bank, whether in India or outside India, if it enters into a over-the-counter foreign exchange derivative involving INR, that transaction must now be reported to CIL. CCIL पे भी कहाँ? Sir, that is to the trade repository. Do you remember? मैंने कहा था कि अब इंडिया में जितनी भी over the counter transactions हो रही है, they are need to be informed to the trade repository of Clearing Corporation of India. Now I am saying all the over the counter जो भी trade हो रहा है, over the counter trade of foreign currency derivatives involving INR, those derivative information is also need to be reported to the same, that is trade repository of CCIL, that is Clearing Corporation of India. So subsidiary and parent दोनों के लिए LEI same होगा? नहीं, different होगा. That will be different. Yes, that's absolutely correct. UTI generation by CCIL TR GRV GRV is correct. Deepak, you are also correct. Moving to the next, the related party itself may also report the transaction independently. तो कहता क्या है? ये कहता है कि सर ये जो आपकी related party है, वो जो transaction करेगी, वो खुद भी इस transaction के बारे में inform करेगी, but being the authorized dealer category 1, you also have this burden, you also have this norm that you also have to inform about your related party transactions. That is a point, nothing else. ठीक है जी? Now, I don't care whether the derivatives are deliverable or non-deliverable, whatever type of derivative it is, you have to inform. सबको पता होगा deliverable और non-deliverable derivative का मतलब क्या होता है? सर, deliverable derivative का मतलब है where at the end the assets which are underwritten, the assets which are written under the derivative, they will be settled, they will be finally transferred, they will be finally moved from one party to another. But on the other side, if I say non-deliverable, in case of non-deliverable, only and only the settlement is done. तो या तो भैया आपने एक डेरिवेटिव साइन किया कि after 3 months I will be purchasing foreign currency against INR at so and so rupees. So the first point is if you are finally exchanging those currencies, that is deliverable. If you are not exchanging and you are just settling down in the form of cash कि भैया जो भी increase या decrease है उसे pay करके settle down कर दो, then that will be termed as non-deliverable. That is what I am trying to say. But there are certain restrictions which you need to know. If I talk about the certain restrictions, relaxations or exemptions, in that case, if you are doing a transaction back to back, then there is no need to report again and again if they are already covered under the existing instruction. तो मान लो आज मैंने एक transaction की, I am a bank, या ये कहूँ I am a parent company of the authorized dealer category 1, I have done a transaction of derivative 1, then I have further sold this derivative to party 2, फिर party 2 से ये derivative party 3 ने खरीदा और party 3 से फिर से मैंने ये derivative खरीद लिया. तो in this particular case it is a back to back arrangements which are done, and in case of back to back arrangement, अगर एक बार आपने किसी भी derivative के बारे में information share कर दी, it's fine, there's no need to share the information again and again about the same derivative. That is the exemption. Second exemption is transaction entered into by related party with the other authorized dealer category 1 bank in India are also excluded. तो अगर आपका जो related party है, if it is signing an over the counter derivative transaction with some other authorized dealer category 1 bank, then there is no need to report it because it will be automatically reported by the concerned authorized dealer category 1 bank जिसके साथ वो transaction हुई है. Last and the most important part, जहां से question exam में आएगा, तो question यहीं से आएगा. This is the point where the first question will be framed from this particular news. The question is, bank may choose not to report the transactions where the notional value is up to $1 million. Notional value का मतलब, what is the meaning of notional value? Is it the same as market value? Is it the same as face value? How you define this? क्यों पूछ रहा हूं? क्योंकि पहले बताया, और अगर पहले बताया तो उसके पूछने की मेरे पास पूरी अथॉरिटी है. सो प्लीज टेल मी व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ नोशनल वैल्यू. इफ समबडी आस्क यू व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ नोशनल वैल्यू, अगर मैं डेरिवेटिव पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करूं तो डेरिवेटिव पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से नोशनल वैल्यू इज द टोटल अंडरलाइंग वैल्यू ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन और डेरिवेटिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट which is calculated by underlying price into the contract size. लेकिन अगर मुझसे कोई पूछे कि market value और notional value same है, then I would say notional value is the theoretical worth of the position. Market value is the actual value. Are you getting my point? Notional value is the theoretical value. For example, if an investor buys 10 derivatives, each of 100 shares on the stock price at $100, तो भैया उसकी नोशनल वैल्यू क्या हुई? उसकी नोशनल वैल्यू क्या हुई? अगर आपने एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट खरीदा और आज आपने खरीदा उसको $100 पे, उसमें 10 शेयर्स हैं और आपने ऐसे 10 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट खरीदे, सो द टोटल value will be what? So the total value will be $10,000. This is the notional value. Maybe today when you have purchased it, the moment you have purchased it, just after a second when you have purchased it, its market value will be calculated, and it may be $100, it may not be $100, and when you calculate the value at $100, that is market value. You calculate the value on the market price, that is market value, but if you are calculating the value on the value given, we call it as what? So that is notional value. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया? Initial value may be on the time of contract being signed. This is perfect to say. True expense. This is fine in case of derivative. The next is, sir, it will not be easy for an authorized dealer category 1 to register all these reports or to provide all these reports in one go. So RBI has given a guided path. So the guide path is from 1st of July 2027 onwards. That means almost after 1 year. Authorized dealer category 1 needs to report at least 70%. Needs to report at least 70% of the notional value of such contracts. See, from 1st July 2027, bank must ensure that all foreign exchange derivative contract, ये याद रखना, it is related to foreign exchange derivative contract involving INR undertaken by its parent company and the branches of the parent company. They need to be reported either on the same date, and if you are reporting it on the same date, then remember that it should be done by at least 70% of the notional value. And from 1st July 2028, you have to increase this coverage to 80% of the notional value. You have to increase the coverage to the 80% of the notional value. And finally, if I come to the point, all such transactions by related parties other than parent must be reported by 1st of July 2028. So इसमें क्या है सर? 80% from 1st of January 2028, and all such transactions should be reported, and it will be 100% by 1st of July 2028. तो 1st January तक 80%, 1st July तक 100%, and 1st July 2027 तक it should be what value? It should be 70% value. You need to report it on the same day जिस दिन वो transaction हुई है. If not, then you have to report it within 2 working days. If not, then you have to report it within 2 working days. Question है कि सर फायदा क्या? Yes, it is only and only for those foreign exchange derivatives which are related to INR. For example, if a parent company is purchasing over-the-counter derivative of dollar against US dollar against Japanese yen, so that is not, in that case there is no need to report. But if it is dollar against INR, then you have to report. That is what I'm trying to say. 70% by 1st of July 2027, 80% by 1st of January 2028, 100% by 1st of July 2028. 70% notional value of the contract is reported by 1st of July 2027 दीपक, ये देखो ना, 70%. From 1st of July, the bank must ensure that all the foreign exchange derivatives from the same date bank reporting should cover at least 70%. This threshold increases to 80% by 1st January and 100% by 1st July 2028. Is it clear, Deepak? Is it clear, Deepak? अब क्वेश्चन है सर, इससे मिलेगा क्या? आरबीआई को क्या मिला? सर आरबीआई कहता है मुझे मिली ट्रांसपेरेंसी, मॉनिटरिंग मेरे लिए आसान हो गई, एंड नाउ आई हैव अ बेटर रेगुलेटरी ओवरसाइट. Now I have a better regulatory oversight. But what will be its impact? Sir, its impact is it will be a reporting burden on authorized dealer category 1. Second is, at the same time, the change will improve the regulatory visibility. That is good. On the other side, for the related parties of the bank, especially offshore entities, this means they will now need to share transaction information more systematically with authorized dealer category 1, so that RBI should know how your entities, your related parties are working or they are involving in the transactions abroad. That is it. Now let's try to solve a question. इससे ज्यादा इसमें कुछ और पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. दीपक एक बार रिप्लाई कर दो यार अगर डाउट क्लियर है तो, so that I can move ahead. With reference to the revised reporting instruction issued by Reserve Bank of India for authorized dealer category 1, consider the following statement. Authorized dealer category 1 are now required to report all over the counter foreign exchange derivative contracts involving INR undertaken globally by their related parties. Yes, sir. The transaction under the back-to-back arrangements are required to be reported separately. No, sir. Back-to-back के लिए एक बार report कर दिया, that's it. बार-बार report करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Banks have an option to report transactions where the notional value does not exceed $1 million. It's up to you. You can do that. Reporting must mandatorily be done same day. नहीं sir, same day करो. ज़्यादा point वही है कि same day करो, but otherwise you have to complete it by 2 working days. So the 4th point is also incorrect. So the answer to this particular question is A option 1 and 3 are correct. Destination, Deepak, Grav have given the correct answer. लो जी, अगला क्वेश्चन है. Moving on to the next question. Give me a second. That is going to be your homework. So be ready. That is going to be your homework, guys. So take the screenshot and I will be looking forward for the answers in the comment section. So you have 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I guess the screenshot is taken. Moving to the next. Now we have the next news. This news is like जो आज आप WhatsApp ग्रुप पे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स जो कि पेड बैच में हैं, they were asking me कि सर क्या करें, कैसे करें. फाइनेंस में बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, बहुत सारा डेटा है जो हमें याद करना पड़ रहा है, हाउ टू मैनेज इट. सो today I have an answer to that question, as well as I have a news which is data oriented news. So what this news talks about, so the news we have is half yearly report on management of foreign exchange reserves. It is from October 2025 to March 2026. अगर आपको मैं बताऊं तो आप लोगों को ये बात बहुत अच्छे से पता है that whenever we talk about foreign exchange, we have n number of inflow or n number of sources which leads to the inflow of foreign currency, n number of sources which leads to the outflow of foreign currency, and now the reporting of this inflow and outflow of foreign currency is done by RBI on regular basis. I hope you all remember what are the current account transactions. I hope you all remember what are the capital account transactions. I hope you remember that image which I have shared with you in n number of my sessions, but I will not be discussing it today, where I have discussed the entire list of incoming foreign currency as well as I have discussed the entire list of outgoing foreign currency. We have even discussed what is Forex reserve. We all know that Forex reserve, basically the reserve kept with RBI, which not only include the foreign currency in the form of cash, it also includes the foreign currency asset, it also include gold, as well as it also include your special drawing rights and reserve trench with IMF. I hope you remember this. Now, in this case, whenever the forex reserve of a country is presented, it is always presented in the form of US dollars, but that doesn't mean that we have kept our entire foreign currency in the form of US dollar only. We keep our foreign currency in the form of different foreign currency cash, different foreign currency assets and gold as well as SDR and reserve trench with INR. ठीक है, अब इस पॉइंट को पढ़ते हैं. इस पॉइंट का मतलब क्या है? सर, रिसेंटली RBI has presented 46th report in the series, and RBI is covering the period October 2025 to March 2026. It is basically a report which presents what is the status of forex reserves of the country and how over the period of time, means how from the month of October to the month of March, these forex reserves, they have increased or they have decreased. How they have increased or they have decreased. Okay, ji? So this entire picture is given, and they also give us the reason why there was an increase, why there was a decrease, why it has all again decreased in the month of March. So the reasons are also accompanied. So we will be discussing this. तो हमें इसमें क्या क्या याद रखना है? सर, हमें इसमें मोटा मोटा थोड़ा सा डेटा याद रखना है रिगार्डिंग दी स्टेटस की अक्टूबर से लेकर मार्च में क्या चेंज हुआ, एज इट इज मेंशन ऑन द स्क्रीन. और उसके बाद वी हैव टू रिमेंबर द रीजंस व्हाई दीज चेंजेस हैव बीन विटनेस्ड. ठीक है जी, समझ आ गई बात? क्रक्स ऑफ द स्टोरी क्लियर है? नाउ लेट्स कंप्लीट द न्यूज. So this report is divided into two parts. The first part explains the movement of reserves, that how the reserves have moved, reserve adequacy, gold holding, investment pattern, as well as related international arrangements. Second part explains the objective, the legal basis, the risk management and disclosure practice used by RBI. कि भैया क्या objective है इसे present करने का, legal basis क्या है, risk management कैसे कर रहा है RBI, as well as all the practices used by RBI are also disclosed. If I talk about the most important data of this particular report, the data says in September 2025, Forex reserve was $700 billion, and in the March it has decreased to $691 billion. So if you see, there is a decrease of only $9 billion. There is a decline of only $9 billion, but it is not so easy. It's not so easy. It's not a smooth curve where it has decreased from 700 to 691, but there are n number of variations which are done. Now the question is, what are the reasons behind this variation? So the reason behind this variation is RBI buy as well as RBI sell the foreign currency in order to increase or decrease the flow of foreign currency in the economy, so that RBI can manage the exchange rate, because of which we call it as managed floating exchange rate. Second is income earned from investing reserves. So income earned from the investing reserves. Investing reserves means the foreign currency asset. For example, RBI has purchased a bond which has been issued by Federal Reserve, and on that bond RBI is receiving the interest. So that interest is the income earned that will also impact the forex reserves. Government related inflows as well as revaluation gains or losses. Government related inflows, मान लो गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ पैसा बोरो किया तो इनफ्लो हो गया. रिवैल्यूएशन गेन एंड लॉसेस, मतलब गोल्ड का प्राइस बढ़ गया तो आपका गोल्ड का वेट इज स्टिल द सेम, बट द मॉनेटरी वैल्यू इंक्रीजेस, which reflect that there is an increase in foreign currency reserves, which is not actual increase, which is not real increase, but that is a nominal increase. That is also a part. Now अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर सितंबर से लेकर दिसंबर में कहानी बड़ी डिफरेंट थी. वो कैसे? So September से December में we have witnessed there was a huge rise in forex reserves in the month of January as well as February. So keeping that in mind, in September 2025 we all know that the reserves were what? So the reserves were $691 billion. I'm ignoring the word billion. And in the month of March 2026 it is $700 billion, but $700 billion, but you will surprise to know that there was a month, that is February, where this total was 728. It was 728. It was 728. तो ये देखो कि सर ऐसा नहीं है, इट्स नॉट द केस। It's not the case that it has decreased from 700 to 691. No, that's not a case. So this reserve was 728 in the month of February, and now it has fallen down to 691. Reason is quite obvious. What are the reasons? So the first reason is geopolitical tension, because of which crude oil prices are increasing. Due to increase in crude oil prices, India's import bills are increasing, due to which outflow of foreign currency is high. Not only this, sir, foreign portfolio investment is witnessing net outflow. Again, net outflow means there is a outflow of foreign currency, and whenever the foreign currency flows out, the forex reserves will fall down. Along with this, sir, the gold prices in the international market, the gold prices, the way they were increasing, or the way they were rising earlier, now they have decreased up to an extent, as well as now we can say they are almost stable. तो उसकी वजह से जो revaluation February में आया, अब वो revaluation भी कम हो गया, so that the total from 728 has dropped down to 691 billion dollars. ठीक है जी. Along with this, RBI has signed many of the agreements where RBI has gone with dollar INR swap agreements in order to increase the dollar flow in the market, so that RBI can control the depreciation of Indian currency. तो इसकी वजह से end of the day there was a net decline in the forex reserves, and forex reserves declined to $691 billion. Report shows that April to December 2025 reserves, they were declined by $30.8 billion, $30.8 billion on the balance of payment basis. However, nominal format पे अगर हम देखें, in nominal format the reserves have rather increased. क्यों? Nominal में we include the revaluation as well. तो अगर आप इस revaluation को exclude करेंगे, in that case you witness a net decline of $38.8 billion from April to December 2025. But if you are including the revaluation, then it will say the forex reserve has not decreased, rather it has increased, क्योंकि जितना कम हुआ था revaluation उसे compensate कर दिया, और end of the day we are still left with something that is $19.4 billion of increase. I hope point clear है. इससे ज्यादा इस पे बात करने की जरूरत नहीं है. That has been already discussed. It is already clear. The next point which is important, that is RBI net forward asset position stood at $103 billion at the end of March 2026. Now the question is, so what do you understand? What do you understand by the word net forward asset position? It means promise done by RBI that RBI will deliver. Promise done by RBI that RBI will be delivering or settling the contract in the near future. So it is basically, the forward position means RBI has promised future delivery or settlement under the forward contract. So it affects the future reserve picture as well, which means in near future RBI is liable to pay $103.06 billion in the market against the contract, against the derivative, against the swap agreements which it has signed. तो इससे ऑटोमेटिकली क्या होगा सर? इससे ऑटोमेटिकली आपके जो फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स की एस्टिमेट्स है फॉर द नियर फ्यूचर, दे विल फॉल डाउन. ठीक है जी. नेक्स्ट इज एक्सटर्नल लायबिलिटीज वर्सेस रिजर्व्स. एट द एंड ऑफ December 2025, India's total external asset was 1198 billion dollars, where the liabilities were $1,458 billion. So this data is very important. Remember that. This means that India still had negative net external position, and we call that external position as net IIP. तो अब आप जब भी कभी डेटाज याद करेंगे फॉर आंसरिंग द क्वेश्चन, for writing the data in the descriptive answers. Do remember these data which are given in the report, which is generally presented after an year or maybe after 6 months. जो हर 2 महीने बाद 1 महीने बाद डेटा आ रहा है उसको ना आप याद कर पाओगे ना ही हर जगह रेफर कर पाओगे. So this data is important in that context. ठीक है जी. अगर मैं बात करूं इंडिया की जो नेट पोजीशन थी दैट वाज नेगेटिव $363 billion in December 2024, which has improved to $260 billion in December 2025. This is what you need to remember. इंडिया के पास जो इंपोर्ट कॉम्पनसेशन है दैट इज ऑफ 10.8 months right now. अगर मैं दिसंबर की बात करूं बट इन सितंबर इट वाज 11.3 months. ये डेटा इट्स अप टू यू, रिमेंबर इट और नॉट. आई एम नॉट आस्किंग यू टू गो फॉर इट. The ratio of short-term debt, very important. The ratio of short-term debt to reserve has increased from 19.7 to 21.9. The ratio of volatile capital flow plus short-term debt has increased to 69.1%. इसका मतलब क्या है कि जो आपकी रिजर्व्स हैं उन रिजर्व्स के पैरेलल में what is the value of short-term debt on the country, that is 21.9%. And if I include the volatile capital flows, that means the flows which are volatile in nature, which are not permanent, which are not going to stay for a longer time, they may repatriate very soon in the near future. So that volatile capital flow as well as short-term debt या short-term liability percentage is 69.1%, which is a risky scenario. Risky क्यों है भैया? शॉर्ट टर्म में वापस करना, वॉलेटाइल है, कभी भी वापस जा सकता है, तो उसका डायरेक्ट इंपैक्ट किसके ऊपर आएगा सर? उसका डायरेक्ट इंपैक्ट आपके रिजर्व्स पे आएगा. बट इफ इट इज बिलो 100%, if it is below 100%, which means that yes, RBI is capable enough to manage its short-term reserves, its short-term debts as well as its volatile capital flows pretty easily with the help of its reserves itself. तो ये एक अच्छी बात है, बट ये परसेंटेज जितनी कम होगी that will be better. ठीक है जी. Is it clear? Now, gold reserves at the end of March 2026, India had a gold reserve of 880.52 metric tons of gold. That's it. इसके अलावा कुछ और याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर आप चाहें तो इंडिया के पास अपने पास जो गोल्ड पड़ा वो 680 है, बाकी सेफ कस्टडी में है विद बैंक ऑफ इंग्लैंड एंड BIS, एंड 2.80 वर हेल्ड एज अ गोल्ड डिपॉजिट. ठीक है जी. अब इसमें मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट जो पॉइंट है, अगर आप इसे भी इग्नोर करना चाहते हैं, यू कैन इग्नोर दिस पॉइंट एज वेल. अगर आपको लग रहा है डेटा ज्यादा, बट इसे आप इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते कि सर मार्च में टोटल रिजर्व का 16.7% इज गोल्ड एंड इन सितंबर इट वाज 13.92. सो द परसेंटेज वाइज contribution of gold in the forex reserves has increased, which is a good sign. Last but not the least is your how foreign currency assets were invested. If I talk about that, in March 2026, out of the total foreign currency assets, मतलब जो आपके पास foreign currency asset का मतलब है जो आपके पास bonds हैं issued by other countries or by the sovereign nations or by the multilateral development organizations. Those bonds at the end of March 2026, out of total foreign currency asset of $552 billion, about 465 billion dollar was in securities and 46 billion dollar was deposited with the other central bank. तो इसमें भी बस आप इतना याद रख लो कि सर आपके पास जो टोटल फॉरेन करेंसी असेट है दैट इज ऑफ $552 billion. नथिंग मच इज इंपॉर्टेंट. IMF की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो IMF फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शन प्लान, RBI made 3 purchase transactions of value $415 million for repurchase transaction totaling $223 million during this half year. अगर आप चाहो तो आप इस डेटा को भी इग्नोर कर दो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ये जरूर याद रख लेना, India's commitment had earlier been raised to SDR 8,000 या 8.8 billion SDR. You should remember 8.8 billion SDR, that is more than sufficient. इसके अलावा एक पॉइंट और है, that is RBI also continued investment in the bonds issued by IIFC UK with $400 million. तो $400 million is invested out of the permitted limit of $5 billion. तो ये 2 पॉइंट्स हैं जिस पे क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है. इसके अलावा यू कैन इग्नोर एवरीथिंग, नोबडी इज गोइंग टू आस्क यू. अब आता है थोड़ा सा एनालिटिकल पार्ट जहां पे आप लोग वीक है while writing a descriptive answer. Remember that why RBI comes up with this report. So this report is basically to showcase that how well RBI is managing the Forex reserve, and managing the Forex reserve is very important so that RBI can generate liquidity and safety for the economy simultaneously. RBI Act 1934 gives the power to RBI to manage the Forex reserves. Along with that, Foreign Exchange Management Act also gives the power to manage the foreign exchange market. Risk management. Sir, RBI explains that risk management involves several risks, mainly credit risk, market risk, liquidity risk, operational risk. Bank uses structured control, consultation with the government and modern risk tools to mitigate these risks. So remember that RBI के ऊपर सारे तरह के रिस्क है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल क्रेडिट रिस्क, ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. हाउ आरबीआई कंट्रोल द क्रेडिट रिस्क? सर, आरबीआई कंट्रोल द क्रेडिट रिस्क by investing in those bonds which are issued by those countries or those central banks which possess good rating. So you must invest in the highly rated sovereign, central bank and supranational entities. In case of market risk, it is managed through tools like VAR. Have you heard about this term VAR? Any idea, guys? Anyone? Any idea? कोई बता पाएगा मुझे? VAR, sir, it means value at risk. It means value at risk. So it is managed by value at risk. What is value at risk? So value at risk is a kind of, I would say, firstly, it's a statistical risk metrics which basically identify the maximum expected financial loss on a particular investment. So a given time में कितना maximum loss हो सकता है एक particular investment पे, that is known as value at risk. For example, a 95% confidence level implies that 5% chance of exceeding the calculated loss is there. वो बहुत बार लिखते हैं ना that we have 95% confidence level, which means कि जो हमने risk estimate की है उस रिस्क से ज्यादा रिस्क होने के चांसेस सिर्फ 5% है, वरना 95% चांसेस आर कि रिस्क विल बी लेस देन व्हाट वी हैव प्रेडिक्टेड. ठीक है जी. Then we have stress testing, which RBI does, and duration limit, which RBI set. Liquidity risk is managed by keeping the portfolio highly liquid so that RBI can easily mobilize the cash whenever required. Operational risk is controlled through segregation of duties, audit checks, reconciliation, secure swift system, and strict internal controls. So next time, if someone asks you what are the risk mitigation techniques followed by RBI, use these terms. These are the risk mitigation techniques followed by RBI. ठीक है जी. क्लियर हो गई बात? समझ आ गया पॉइंट? इफ इट इज क्लियर जस्ट गिव मी यस सर. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर इस पूरी स्टोरी में हमें कौन सी ऐसी 4-5 चीजें जो हमें नहीं भूलनी है, जिसके बिना अगर क्वेश्चन आएगा तो वी वोंट बी एबल टू आंसर. देन माय आंसर इज फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. First statement is US dollar reserves declined from 700 to $691 million. Second point is the actual external flow. The actual external flows were weak, but still we have managed to witness a low drop that was only and only because of the valuation. Third is net external liability gap of India has improved from 334, it has improved to around 238 or 239, whatsoever the data was. Fourth is reserve adequacy. Reserve adequacy has weakened as the import cover and reserves ratios against the short term, they have came down slightly. So on one side we have 69% of short term plus volatile capital flow against forex reserve ratio, which is 69%, which is not good. It has, I would say, it has deteriorated from 66 to 69%. This is the first point. Second point is earlier we had an import cover of around 11 months, but now we have an import cover of around 10.8 months. So there is a decrease. Next point is the fifth point, the share of gold. The share of gold in the reserves, it has increased significantly. Which was earlier 13%, 13.92%. Now it has been increased to 16.7%. Now it has been increased to 16.7%. This is something which you need to remember. ठीक है जी, क्लियर है? सो दीज आर दी 5 पॉइंट्स विच यू नीड टू रिमेंबर। इसमें मैं वो डेटा भी लिख देता हूँ जो मुझे लगता है कि आपको याद करना चाहिए फॉर श्योर। यहाँ पे अगर मैं डेटा की बात करूँ तो अप्रैल टू दिसंबर 2025, अप्रैल टू दिसंबर 2025 अगर हम बात करते हैं तो इंडिया का जो वैल्यूएशन है, इंडिया की जो फॉरेक्स रिजर्व की वैल्यूएशन है, दैट हैज चेंज। बट इफ आई टॉक अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर चेंज, सर देयर इज अ रियल डिक्रीज ऑफ $30.8 billion, है ना, एंड नॉमिनल increase of $19.4 billion because of revaluation, or I would say because of valuation, है ना, valuation, या आप ये कहो कि valuation gain, because of valuation gain of, if I'm not wrong, data point of view से $50.2 billion, $50.2 billion, ठीक है। ये आपको याद करना। इसके अलावा आपको क्या याद करना है सर? इसके अलावा आपको याद करना है यहाँ पे द नेट एक्सटर्नल लाइबिलिटी हैज डिक्रीज। इफ आई से अप्रैल टू दिसंबर 2025, if I talk about the India's total external asset is $1,198 billion. India, next is external liability. External liability is obviously more, and that is around $1,458 billion. And if I talk about the gap, that is the net IIP, net IIP is negative, and that is negative of what value? That is $260 billion. बट अगर मैं बात करूं दिसंबर 2024 से, इट वाज नेगेटिव $363 बिलियन। तो ये जो डेटा मैं स्लाइड पे लिख रहा हूं ना, इतना जरूर याद कर लेना। अगर इतना भी नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो आई कांट हेल्प, सॉरी, इतना तो करना ही पड़ेगा, ठीक है। उसके बाद अगर हम बात करें तो सर 11.3 मंथ्स का रिजर्व था हमारे पास इन सितंबर 25। This has decreased to 10.8 months of reserve in March 2026, ठीक है जी, in March 2026। उसके अलावा अगर मैं बात करूं परसेंटेज वाइज, तो शॉर्ट टर्म पहले था 19.7%, now it has increased to 21.9%, that is short term liability. And if I talk about short term liability plus volatile capital flow, this is 69%, this is 69%। इसको भी हटा दो, बस आप ये देखो, और दोनों ही केसेस में आप ये याद रखना, इंक्रीज्ड विच इज नॉट गुड, इंक्रीज विच इज नॉट गुड, ठीक है। अगर मैं गोल्ड के शेयर की बात करूं तो सर गोल्ड का शेयर ये पूरा याद रख लो, 13.92% था सितंबर 25 में, विच हैज नाउ इंक्रीज्ड drastically to 16.70% in March 2026। ये स्लाइड याद रहेगी, ये स्लाइड याद रहेगी। अगर किसी को ये स्लाइड याद रह गई तो चाहे डिस्क्रिप्टिव में यूज कर लेना, चाहे ऑब्जेक्टिव में यूज कर लेना, चाहे जब पैराग्राफ क्वेश्चन इस पे आएगा तब उसे यूज कर लेना। यू विल बी इन अ पोजीशन टू आंसर द क्वेश्चन प्रीटी वेल। डन है जी, चलो। Now let's solve a question on the same. So with reference to this, India's Forex reserve declined during the half year ending March 2026. Yes, sir. It has declined from 700 to $691 billion. The decline in reserve was mainly due to the negative valuation changes. No, sir. We have positive valuation changes. We have positive valuation changes. Negative valuation changes तो है ही नहीं, बल्कि नेगेटिव नहीं है बल्कि पॉजिटिव है, तो ये तो गलत हो गया। शेयर ऑफ गोल्ड इन द टोटल हैज इंक्रीज, यस सर, फ्रॉम 13.92% it has increased to 16, it has increased to 16.70%, 16.70%. The import cover of reserves improved during the period under, नहीं सर, पहले तो 11.3 months था, which has now dropped down to 10.8 months, so it has not improved, it is deproved. So decline हुआ, so answer is going to be A option 1 and 3 are correct. ठीक है जी, क्लियर है? अगले क्वेश्चन का स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो जल्दी से, then I'll move ahead. You have 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. So do share the answers in the comment section below. Do download the PDF from the Telegram channel, and the link or the QR code is available. See you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. We will cover the RBI circular और बहुत सारे और भी अप्रैल मंथ के RBI के circulars हैं. I'll plan how I will be completing them. Maybe those circulars will be completed in the extra classes only. तो 3-4 एक्स्ट्रा क्लास लेनी पड़ेगी, तब जाकर 27 और 29 तारीख के सर्कुलर कंप्लीट होंगे. ठीक है, देखो फाइनेंस में तो अभी तक ऐसा नहीं हुआ फाइनेंस में, लेकिन ईएसआई में तो अक्सर होता ही है. ईएसआई में तो अक्सर ऐसा होता, ईएसआई में तो अक्सर ही ऐसा होता. ठीक है, ओके देन, बाय बाय गाइस, टेक केयर, गुड लक, सी यू सून. Catch you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Save your energy, Rishabh. Save your energy, Rishabh. सुबह मिलते हैं 10 बजे. Save your energy. Don't worry. See you tomorrow at 10.